got you on my mind. Why I got you on my mind.
Hello, kings, queens, and beautiful people. Today is more of a team analysis on the film Unhinged. It came out recently. It was the only other film. I think it's the first one I've seen since lockdown. Starring Russell Crowe. Basically centers around the single mother and her son. They're in traffic. Road rage. Kind of doing with that road rage and being stuck in traffic, drivers and stuff. And basically, it has to deal with this unhinged person, obviously, and this single mother and son, and kind of the whole kind of psychological thriller that happens from that. Now, I will be going from on spoilers for the next, like, I'll put a time skip to where I spoil stuff, but my general recommendation is if you like thrillers that have to deal with road rage and driving, then it might be your kind of film. It wouldn't be the type of film I'd be sitting there rewatching over and over again, but for a passable time, it's just fine. So, like, on a scale of 1 to 10, it's like a 6 or a 7, I'd personally say. Some people hated it more than there's some people liked it more. My personal view is that it was a decent watch. I probably wouldn't buy it, but if I was bored, I'd probably watch it. Now, going into more theme analysis, I think the main theme of this movie was primarily like road rage and the effects of like, especially with the main character, Russell Crowe, lost his job, who's been shitted on his entire life, having a bad day and then having somebody just honk at you or get angry at you. No, to be fair, he wasn't the wrong. He should have, kept going when the traffic light went green. He should have gone instead of staying there. But it is an interesting thing. Now, personally, could they have gone into more depth in the movie about it? Sure. But I think that was meant to be the main theme because some people do get a lot of road rage. They do get frustrated because the way our world works. Because this film is set really, fairly recently. Uh, we want to, everyone's in a rush to go somewhere. It's work, work, work. It's like all work, no play, basically. And like I said, that happens to a lot of people where they lose their jobs, where they can't get their pension, and everyone just keeps shitting on them constantly. It's weird because in a lot of cases where you do have people who have issues and stuff or end up doing something really messed up, there usually is like a pattern you see appearing after a while, whether it's bullying or mental health illnesses. In this case, I think it was mostly mental and physical health issues that eventually I think got to his psyche. Now that doesn't mean that he's not responsible for his actions because he quite clearly is. So I assume that would be the main thing within this film. Granted, it could have been more in depth. I think it's weird though, like in a way, because we don't tend to think that one incident could make somebody snap and go on a almost murderous rampage. In this case, pretty murderous rampage. To be honest, right? Obviously, he was taking it too far, but it's weird how much just that one incident made the main character basically become enemy number one, the main target. And like I said, how easy it was for him to do these things the second she had her phone, because the other thing with this movie is technology. Her phone was unlocked, so he got access to her everything very easily because we keep a lot of information on our phone. That's why I have most of my things either secured or I don't put it on my phone. I either don't put it on my phone or have it very secured. Most of us have our bank details, emails, phone contact numbers, messages, the whole lot. You know what I mean? There's only maybe a couple of things because our phones are pretty much like computers now. Like, heck, even some tablets, if they're really like slightly more expensive ones, they can even take SIM cards sometimes. But it's another film aspect of this film because, like, like I know most people, myself included, if they don't have a phone for a week, they pretty much can't do a lot of things. You can't check your bank, you can't check your email, you can't check, like I said, you can't check your balance, you can't text people. Even though most people don't text, you have social media, so most people either just WhatsApp or Snapchat or use Line or whatever. But if you don't have a phone, you can't really do that. Now, if you have a laptop, you can somewhat kind of get by, but you can't always be carrying around like a 10 to like 15-inch laptop around with you the entire time, especially if you just need to message and the likes, whereas a phone tends to be at least somewhere between like 5 to 7 inches now. Some of them are getting smaller, some of them are getting bigger, but they're definitely getting thinner anyway. So that's another aspect that I looked at because because just from getting her phone, which was unlocked, right? He got so much information from her. Like, like I said, even when you buy stuff on delivery, the other thing when you look at a phone, it has your delivery address. It can have your address very easily if you have your location on. It has all your information, a lot of it. You know what I mean? So I think they're really interesting themes within the film, technology and kind of road rage. And it's weird how, like, there's things people were doing in the film. Like, there's one scene where a chick is doing her makeup in the car. And I could tell an accident was going to happen, obviously, because we're following the characters as it's going on. You can tell there's tension. How sometimes people, I think, assuming they can multitask when they can't, get into certain accidents, and it kind of made me think a lot more about road safety and stuff. I know it sounds weird, but it's probably because there's a lot of people like dying in this. Not all of it was obviously due to negligence or something, but it kind of made me more hyper aware of the likes of being road safe. Not being distracted when you're driving, doing this, doing that. And cars were getting smashed, crashed, all sorts of crazy shit, honestly. So in that sense, I'll give the movie credit in terms of somewhat dealing with these themes, though maybe not in the most in-depth view. Honestly, I only recognize like two of the actors in this film, if I'm being honest, like Russell Crowe and the kid I've seen in a few other things. Karen Pistorius, that to me is a new one. She's South African apparently, so maybe that's why. I don't know. Like again, I know as with most films, they'll put star power behind it so people will watch it, but it was an alright film. It's like a C grade. It's not fantastic, but it's not shit either. You know what I mean? It seemed to mostly balance the line between downtime and more tense and extreme moments. Now, the violence is gratuitous. I'd say for most people, would be rather gratuitous, but I don't hate the film as a whole. Now, thank you for watching.